Welcome back to IdentityQuestTV. Our topic today is faith over fear. Fear is normal, but faith in God gives us courage to face anything. Sophia is afraid of speaking in front of her classmates because of fear, but she will overcome when she embraces faith. Let me tell you the story of Joshua and how he led the Israelites into the promised land, trusting God's promise. He chose faith over fear. Long ago, after Moses passed away, God chose a new leader to guide his people, the Israelites. His name was Joshua. God said to Joshua, "Be strong and brave. Do not be afraid. I am with you wherever you go." Joshua knew that God had promised them a beautiful home called the Promised Land, full of trees, flowers, rivers, and fruit. But to get there, they had to cross a big, wide, rushing river, the Jordan River. The river looked scary. The water moved fast. There was no bridge. The people were nervous. But Joshua remembered God's words, "Be strong, be brave. I am with you." So Joshua stood tall and said to the people, "Get ready. Tomorrow God will do something amazing." The next day, Joshua told the priests, "Carry the Ark of the Covenant, the special box that holds God's rules, and step into the river first." The people watched. The priests stepped into the rushing water, and wow! The water stopped flowing. The river stood still like a wall. The ground became dry. The people gasped. It's a miracle. One by one, all the people, children, moms and dads, grandparents, walked across the dry riverbed to the other side. God had kept his promise. He helped them cross the river because they had faith, not fear. And that's how Joshua led the people into the Promised Land, trusting God all the way. Even if things feel big or scary, we can choose faith over fear. Just like Joshua, here are 5 lessons to learn from Joshua. Be strong and courageous. Joshua 1:9 reminds us that with God's help, we can face challenges without fear. Trust in God's promises. Joshua believed God's promises about the Promised Land, showing us the importance of trusting God even when things seem uncertain. Obey God completely. Joshua followed God's instructions exactly, like during the fall of Jericho. Good leadership serves others. Joshua led with humility and responsibility, showing that leaders should care for and guide others kindly and bravely. God is always with us. Let me share another story with you all. It was the start of a new school year, and in Ms. Reynolds' classroom, there was a buzz of excitement in the air. Students were chatting about their summer vacations, catching up with old friends, and eagerly discussing what the year would bring. But amidst the chatter, there was one student, Ben, who couldn't shake the feeling of dread settling in his stomach. Ben wasn't afraid of school, per se, but there was one thing that made his heart race: the dreaded end-of-term math test. He had never done well in math, and the pressure to do better this year felt heavier than ever. As the weeks went by, Ms. Reynolds taught her class with her usual enthusiasm. She gave lessons, assigned homework, and even made math games fun. But no matter how hard Ben tried, the fear of the test never left him. Every time a math problem appeared in front of him, his mind would freeze. He felt like he was standing at the base of a mountain, staring up at the highest peak, knowing that the climb was going to be difficult. One afternoon, Ms. Reynolds noticed Ben staring at his worksheet with furrowed brows and a worried expression. She walked over to him and sat beside his desk. "Ben, what's on your mind?" she asked kindly. Ben hesitated. I'm really nervous about the math test. I feel like no matter how much I study, I'm never going to do well. I can't seem to get it right." Ms. Reynolds smiled warmly. "I know you're nervous, Ben, but you've been making progress. You've been trying your best, and that's what matters most. But let me share something important with you. It's okay to be afraid. Fear is just a feeling, but it doesn't have to stop you. In fact, fear can be your signal that you care about something deeply, and that's a good thing." Ben looked up at her, confused. "But what if I fail?" "Failure isn't the end, Ben," she explained. "It's just a step on the journey. And when you face something difficult, you get to choose what happens next. You can let fear hold you back, or you can choose to face it with courage, one step at a time. Faith over fear, remember. He studied a little every day, practiced problems, and even asked his friends for help when he got stuck. Slowly but surely, his confidence grew. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about doing his best. Thanks for joining us this week. Always like, share, and subscribe to Identity Quest TV.